Hi everybody, how y'all doing? I I should probably be sleeping now because I'm very tired, but I'm up, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at. There were some questions from PoemasDelMundo on the last comment, so I'm gonna try to answer them, and of course do it one by one. So and yeah, I'm sorry if I seem weird because I am tired. So yeah, I'm weird. I think you started with this one. I don't understand the emoticon that you're using, so I apologize that I can't repeat it. It's at symbol, then period, then at symbol. You should read the Bible. Winky face is nice fairy tale. Yeah, there's lots of allegories in it, but it doesn't mean that they're any less true. But there's more than just allegory in there. There is history, and there's lots of other many gifts. So, don't you claim to be Christian? I probably would claim that, let's see, maybe since what it was, November. And so, how many months? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So that's 7 months. So maybe for 7 billionths of a second, maybe if I'm really trying hard, I might have been a Christian. Maybe if I were to write the word Christian out and it would express how Christian I am, I probably wouldn't have enough ink to make the first marking of the letter C before it starts a curve to write Christian. That's about how Christian I am, because I'm I'm, I'm so, yeah, I'm just trying. That's all I am. Um, I would hope that would be, that's the goal anyway, right? But yeah. Oh, okay, sorry for repeating the question. Alright, well, maybe because I didn't answer it before. I'm answering while I listen to the video. Okay. Yeah, people do that all the time. So, if dead is something natural, then why should we be attached to life? I suppose because we grow accustomed to having people around us who comfort us and we enjoy them and their company, and that when we know that we're not going to have that same interaction, it's very upsetting. And even though people know that, there's death is part of life, it doesn't make it, easy to deal with your feelings when you have an intellectual understanding of something, from the head to the heart. It's not necessarily an easy travel. Okay, excuse me. And why, if this ritual that I'd seen before in the Baha'i faith is so inhuman, if the care they give the body is with a higher respect than any Christian or Muslim ritual does? Okay, well, let's see, the ritual as far as that goes. Um, I wasn't discussing the beauty of the way in which they care for the body after death. That's fine. I was talking specifically about the way that Baha'is are taught to what to do with their grief. And I don't know if you've been to a Baha'i funeral. It sounds maybe like you had or something, because you said what you had seen. Um, but what I had experienced seeing in funerals was a person would express their grief, and in an attempt to comfort that person, another individual would remind that person of a quote in reference to death, and wherefore dost thou grieve? I've made death a messenger of joy to thee, and what they were doing, unfortunately, was completely circumventing, just sidestepping, just absolutely negating the person's feelings, not acknowledging them, not supporting them, not anything at all, but basically by saying those things, negating their process of grief, negating that person's love that they have for the past person, anything like that. And it just absolutely would turn that person off, shut them down, not allow them to, gracefully move through their grief. And I think that that's absolutely cruel and evil and inhumane. I think that's just horrendous, because then these people would shut off their grief and they walk around. I saw horrible effects of it years and years later, because people didn't go through a grieving process that was natural and comforting and comfortable. And some of those things are the rituals that people have, but more so, no. I would never wish for instance, my children to be told the things in the writings, in reference if when I were to pass. All it would do is slice their hearts. There's no comfort in those words. None. Um, they're idealistic for what they mean, but they aren't meant for grieving individuals. They bring harm to them. That's disgusting. I hate most people of the world. Okay. Um, I've never met a person who truly hates people, but okay, I guess you exist in that way. I believe you. Um, I have no idea what that means. Love to not be oppressed by dogmas. Okay, I don't know anybody who wants to be oppressed by anything, so sure. Here is the thing. The prophets never left any clergy. I'm not understanding why you're using kind of Baha'i language, because you're atheist, so why do you refer to things in that way? And why would you care what they had or hadn't supposedly done? Um, that's very confusing to me. And as far as who left what where with whom, I don't know how all that came to be. So if you have greater knowledge of that, that they didn't, okay, I won't argue because I'm not well read. Sorry, haha, my English sucked at that time. No, I think I understand your English fine, so it's not a problem with me. I do not, I do know said that you depend on it. Okay, I thought that that's what you were saying, yes. I do not know you, right. What I said is that you like to depend on that priest. Um, I'm not sure why you get that idea. It seems that you don't trust your own rationality and understanding. Well, um, okay. As far as depending on a priest, before I was a Baha'i, I had worshipped with, what do you call it? The Friend Society. They're mostly known as Quakers, but the Society of Friends. And I worshipped them for like 2.5 years, and they are a clergyless faith, and they are Christian. And that was the closest that before I became Baha'i that I was ever considering something that was Christian at all. They don't have any ritual like baptism, and they're just very simple. And they like to be called simple, so that's not an insult to them. So that being that that's a clergyless faith, and then I went to the Baha'i, which it's another clergyless faith. I'm not sure why you think that I'm a person who seeks a priest or someone like that. So as far as how I see it now, which um, you know when I go to church, I really, really, really love and enjoy, and I'm grateful for my priest. I really like him, and I know that he's definitely more studied than me, but if he told me something, um, either in reference to the faith or to the Bible, that I did not think was consistent with it, or I thought was inaccurate in some way, or I found to be harmful, or anything at all, I would voice that, and I wouldn't have a problem doing that. I've done that with my friends who suggested things to me by pulling quotes that I reject, and I wouldn't have a problem saying it to a priest. I would do it respectfully because I respect his station, but I would still be able to say, I'm sorry, I disagree, and I think that's harmful, or whatever I would say. So there's to that. As far as trusting my own rational rationale and understanding. There are some parts of my understanding that it's not that I don't trust them, but I definitely seek more understanding, so I ask other people to help me. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's how people learn. Um, as far as rationale, um, yeah, there's some logic to what I think, there's some intuition to what I think, there's all kinds of things that I'm probably not even aware of that contribute to the way that I rationalize things. And I don't think that that's different from anybody else. Um, so thanks for your questions. And as long as you're polite like this to me, to everybody else, I'm really glad to have you here. And yeah, thanks so much. And I do wish you peace.